Welcome and thanks for watching. I am Dave Codre with Greenleaf, and today we're going to go through some of our Opportunity Zone projects that we're working on, covering things such as revenue, occupancy, and construction. For even more details, we always have our online portal where you can access your full statement, or you can reach out to Natalie King, our investment team manager here at Greenleaf, and she can also help answer any questions you may have. Now, since 2019, we've bought 6 deals in the Opportunity Zone across 4 different states and 2 different asset classes. We saw our first project come out of construction in the second quarter, which was FAIRWAY Apartments, and we expect by the middle of 2021, we've had some delays, but by the middle of 2021, all of our projects will be completed on a construction standpoint and we'll be moving into full operational mode. Similar to last quarter, we have seen great leasing velocity and occupancy gains in our residential side. We gained 19% this quarter. Very excited about that. We're able to deliver units and lease them up as they come available. On the office side, we still have the bulk of our space that's undergoing renovation. We expect that to end soon, but therefore we have not seen huge occupancy gains. We did gain 6% this quarter, so while it's positive, it's a little behind the residential side, yet we're excited about the momentum that we're building. Now let's dig into revenue and see how things look there. We spoke in previous videos how first quarter of 2020 was our lowest point for revenue, and while that is true across the portfolio, we're seeing different trends in the residential and commercial spaces going forwards. On the residential side, we're continuing to see gains driven from occupancy increases and retention improvement. Revenues jumped 36% in this quarter. We expect this to continue throughout the end of the year as occupancy hits a stable mark above 90%. On the commercial side, it's a slightly different story. Our revenue was down by 4% this quarter and back to levels from late 2019. This revenue decline is from volatility in our occupancy, with small tenants who have less business adaptability and a more negative impact from COVID. Revenue going forward should improve as we have signed additional leases at our station project with no additional scheduled lease cancellations. Now, let's review our occupancy. On the residential side, we saw a 19% increase over last quarter. We are seeing strong leasing demand and able to lease units as soon as they come online. We have 61 units left in renovation and expect those to be completed in the fourth quarter and be able to drive towards a fully stable occupancy over 90% in the next 3 months. On the commercial side, our lease volatility hurt our revenue, but overall occupancy grew. We added 4 tenants, most notably an Allstate agency, at the station. We are also in lease negotiations on our site in Charlotte for around 50% of the 24,000 square foot building. Overall, this brings our station occupancy to 65% and the footprint as a whole to 38%, up from 32% last quarter. Lastly, let's review the status of our capital projects. This segment of the chart represents the time it has taken to complete critical sections of each construction project as of last quarter. As this transitions to the end of the third quarter, you can see the changes realized in our timeline. Our projects at Heritage Square and the station have taken longer than expected from last quarter, while the Grove is making good progress and finishing ahead of expectations from last quarter. We have more details on each of these as we go out to see each project. While all projects have different total timelines, you can see that at the end of 2020, shown in blue, we'll have the bulk of our renovation work completed, with the LUPTON being the only project scheduled for full construction mode in 2021. Okay, now let's head out to the properties so we can see the progress that we're making. The first stop on our little adventure through our QOZ fund is FAIRWAY Apartments. I'm here on the west side of Atlanta. This is our first QOZ deal, our first deal to stabilize, and we are all done. Very exciting for us, but the excitement doesn't stop there. This quarter we were hoping to finish our refinance with Freddie Mac. That didn't happen. We're kind of like right at the finish line right now, and we're hoping in the next couple of weeks we're able to line up the long-term financing that we need to be able to carry this project through to 2029 in our hold period for the QOZ. On the retention front, very exciting. We got to 53% for the third quarter. In the middle of the pandemic, that's pretty good. We're still hoping for that magical 70% number, so we're a little below, but 53% is still the best quarter we've had, and it shows that we're continually stabilizing the property. On the revenue side, we stopped all rental increases and we made our renewals easier. As you all know, as we started the pandemic, we went into that mindset. But we have had some challenges. We have 8 residents that at the beginning of the pandemic have struggled to make their rental payments. 2 of those in September ultimately left the property, and we saw some pretty big write-offs that hit our revenue numbers. We have 6 people left that are also very behind in rent, and we're trying to work with them so they can keep their home and work through how we're gonna do this. But right now, you know, that far behind in rent doesn't look that good for long-term prospects. Overall, the third quarter revenue was in line with the second quarter revenue, which makes sense if we're not increasing rental rates and we're occupied. We project the same thing to happen for the fourth quarter. We think we're gonna be right in line with where we were third quarter with the good base of residents that we do have. I'm here in Greenville, South Carolina. We're in month 19 of renovation work at the Grove. We had a really exciting third quarter where we hit 70% occupancy overall. This is up from only 20% at the beginning of the year, so we're making huge improvements. On the CapEx front, you might be able to hear a little bit of banging in the background, but we only have 21 units left, and we are confident that we'll be able to finish those and lease everything in the fourth quarter. This will put us at 95% to close out the year. That is a huge occupancy jump in 1 year alone. Additionally, right across the street, you might be able to hear it there, we've got a bunch of new apartments that are being built. That's only going to drive traffic to this area, drive prospective tenants. We can piggyback on that a little bit to keep our leasing velocity going and our renewals. Now, on the revenue side, when COVID hit, we did take about a 10% drop on our market rents. That helped us through the lease up period. And now we're starting to see those rental rates come back. We've seen some increase there. We're also adding back increases on our renewals. This is all in an effort to get to $85,000 as our stabilized monthly revenue target that we're aiming for. And we are confident that we'll go into 2021 hitting those numbers. Overall revenue though, this quarter we're up 152% compared to last quarter. September alone had more revenue than all of the last quarter combined. We feel really good about where we're going. We're excited to keep the trend of occupancy growth happening, and we really want to hit 95% occupancy going into 2021. Now, we're going to head back to Atlanta, check out our next property. All right, now we are back in Atlanta. We are at Heritage Square Apartments. This is about 2 blocks away from FAIRWAY Apartments, our first QOZ deal. If you recall, last quarter we were finishing up the interiors here, and now we're done with all of the units. We have a mix of original hardwood floors, new LVT, but all new cabinets, all new appliances, all new bathrooms. They look fantastic. Now, the only thing left we have to do is the porches. And as you can see right here, they need a lot of work done to them. The plan was to finish up these porches right after we were done with the interiors in Q3, but as you can tell, these are still old. They're not our new beautiful decks. We got caught up in permitting. We submitted our permits in May, and it's 4 months later and we still do not have them. So now we're working through some creative solutions with third-party inspectors and the city of Atlanta to get them to come out and give us our approvals to start on the construction process while meeting all the requirements of the permitting process through the city. We're optimistic that we'll be able to get these done in the fourth quarter now and then lease up in the first quarter of 2021. That does push out our timeline a little bit. We were hoping to be leased in the fourth quarter. We really thought that going into Q4, we'd be able to lease this bad boy up and be in great shape. Now, it's looking like first quarter, and overall project will be about 24 months. The good news is we're still on budget. We're on time with our original plan. We just thought we were gonna be able to get a little bit ahead here, and that didn't happen. But we're still in very good shape. Now we're gonna head over to the station on the north side of Atlanta. Now we're about an hour and a half northeast of Heritage Square Apartments at the station. Our first office deal, it's 110,000 square feet, and we're here in Norcross, Georgia. As you can see, our big news here is the whole thing is finally painted. It stopped raining for a couple days here in Georgia, and we were able to actually finish our exteriors. The only thing remaining on the CapEx side is 3 interior floors. It's about 24,000 square feet. Remember last quarter we finished all the mechanicals and all the electrical on the inside. Now we just have to finish our cover up, paint the walls, and we are ready for prospective new tenants. That's where we're a little behind though. This quarter, we did lease a 2,000 square foot classic office space to an Allstate insurance agency. That 2,000 square feet was at $14.75, right in line with our pro forma. We also leased 5 of our executive suites. Now these are sub 500 square foot spaces that we lease on our own, and we got around $20 a square foot on these leases. So we're very excited about that. We're seeing good progress on our executive suites, kind of fits the environment right now. But what we haven't done is leased any of our shell space. On that front, we are looking at changing our brokerage relationship there. We've had about a full year with the current broker in place, and all of these larger, multiple thousand square feet spaces are done through brokerage tenant rep agencies. We're shifting to a new company this month, and we're hoping to see some good progress going into the fourth quarter. Now on the occupancy side, we did hit 66% this quarter. It's just below where we want to be, though. We were targeting 70% for the third quarter. So we're a little behind schedule, but we think with the new brokerage relationship and what we were able to pick up on the executive suites, that we'll have good progress going into Q4. Okay, now we're gonna head up to Chattanooga and we're gonna take a look at the Lupton building. Here we're at the Lupton building, our 5th deal, and it's still very old and still very much under construction. We started off the third quarter with permits in hand. We haven't made a lot of progress upstairs, but we're gonna take a look in the basement and you can see all the mechanical and foundation improvements we've made to put our stair runners in, put the plumbing in, put the electrical stuff together. So the basement's looking great, and as soon as we finish that parts, we'll go upstairs and start working on replacing the rafters and beams and everything up there. Now let's head down to the basement. Okay, here you can see the cutouts we did in all the floors. This is where our locker room and showers and everything are gonna go. So we had to dig out all this concrete. It's about 2 feet deep of rock and foundation. Come over towards the front of the building. This was quite the endeavor. We cut out into the foundation all the footings for our new staircase. We're gonna use a steel staircase here that Southern Spear Ironworks is working on. We were able to go to Southern Spear Ironworks and see the full manufacturing process of our staircase. This included everything from the raw steel being cut and shaped into the stairs, along with the welding and painting to produce the finished product. As we wrap up work here in the basement, our next steps are going to be installing the actual staircase, which is going to go literally right here. And as we look up, we're going to cut out this ceiling joists here, and that's where our new staircase is going to go. Okay, that's it for the Lupton here. Let's head over to our last project, which is 1500 North Graham in Charlotte. Now we're at the last stop in our tour in Charlotte, North Carolina. Demo was knocked out here in July, and we have started the rebuild process already. Similar to the Lupton, we're starting with the in-ground plumbing and working our way up to the mechanicals. We also have completed the roof replacement here. This timeline does have risks that we spoke about last quarter, and mainly around parking. We had one option left, working with our neighboring property, UPS, to get a rental parking agreement. However, they're not willing to come to the table here. That means that we had to go through the zoning and appeal process. At first, this was a very big concern for us, but through the process, with the help of our attorney, we were awarded an additional 25% parking reduction to make the area more walkable, and permitted to move our retaining wall, allowing enough additional parking to meet the city requirements. To get these changes through, we agreed to plant additional trees along the side street, the lower portion of the image here. This is a huge win for us and the project, and we are now fully ready to go on the parking front and have no barriers left to CO. On a leasing front, we are working with Charlotte-based brokerages to lease the space. We are not leasing this one internally. We have been in lengthy conversation with multiple prospective tenants, so we are optimistic that we'll have 2021 early move-ins. Overall, we are on track to finish our physical renovation by the end of 2020, making one of our fastest renovation projects in a 12-year history of Greenleaf. Thanks for watching our QOZ updates for the third quarter. We appreciate your time and always are open to feedback, so please let us know if there's any questions you may have.